He's closer
Yes.
league value. I'm not trolling either. He's closer to league value to Cam Thomas than he is to Tyrese Halliburton.
Wow.
Just for people to understand.
The Trae Young sweepstakes have officially begun, y'all. We are underway. Trae Young will be on the move. According to Shams, the Atlanta All-Star, Superstar, All-NBA player, and his agent are working with the franchise, the Atlanta Hawks, on a trade. Fellas, that means that these two sides are in collaborative talks and will figure out a solution on where Trae Young wants to go. The Hawks and Trae Young's agents have maintained positive dialogue on his future ever since the franchise elected not to offer him a contract extension last summer. And obviously, they've been pretty good without him. Jalen Johnson has taken a step forward, and they have a winning record when Trae Young's not on the floor, and a losing record when Trae Young is on the floor this season. So let's get into it, y'all. How do we feel about this? We talked about this briefly last week, but obviously things have got a little more intense and a little more compelling.
I think the biggest thing that people have to recognize is that when you get traded, that doesn't mean you whack, right? So immediately with Trae Young, because it's not working out anymore in Atlanta, which he's been there for 7 years. And in the 7 years he's been there, he's been an all-pro, he's been an all-star, he's been snubbed for a bunch of all-star teams, he's been snubbed for a bunch of all-pro teams. But with that being said, he's still a damn fine ball player. It's just that they're moving in a different direction the way this team is constructed. On paper, it looked like it was something that could work. This was one of the most talented groups, if not the most talented group that he was on. I thought that his ability to pass, his ability to play make, I thought that he'd get better shots. I thought all of this stuff would just make him better, only except they just work much better without him. I think that they play faster. I think their athletes are better. I think that the ball movement is a little bit more with him off the floor. And I think with him having a fresh start and being with a different unit, I think this will be good for Trae Young, because I think what the narrative on Trae Young is right now is Trae Young is one of those players who you can't really build around. When in reality, I mean, they did get to the East Finals with him. And yes, there's some people who don't believe that they should have been in the Eastern Conference Championship, but they were. And Trae Young is 20, I want to say 27, Ron, 28, something like that, which means I think we still have some years left with him. And with that being said, I still think that he's still a viable point guard in the game. And we still got some, I think we still got some really good basketball left in Trae Young. And he's going to opt in to that deal of the last year of that deal. So we still got some good basketball left in Trae. We do.
I'm happy to see it going the way it's going, though. You know, them coming out and just saying we're working together to make it happen. There's nothing wrong with the amicable divorce. You know, if both sides are on the same page and they're ready to split ways, this is how it's supposed to be. You know, this is good business. I just hope that they can find a good landing spot for Trae, and I hope that they can get something back in return, whatever they are looking for. We heard about the CJ McCollum thing, them getting an expired contract. If that's what they want to do, that's great. And mind you, if he were to go to Washington, I don't think that's a bad look. Obviously, Morris, Washington's the worst team in the NBA. But I think a guy like Trae Young with those youngsters, though, they got some good up and coming youngsters, though. You know what I mean? So, Ron, every team's not going to be a championship contending basketball team. You know what I mean? Like, and we got to accept that every team, you can't just plug a guy in and then, they're championship contenders. That's not realistic, and that's just not how it's going to go. So, I just don't even, like, for instance, if they were to trade him in reshape for Giannis, that doesn't make the Bucks championship contenders. So that's all I'm saying. Is just as long as everybody can get something back for what they want and it's all amicable, I think this is how good business should be conducted. And this, Giannis, is how you step up, be a man, stand on your nuts, and say, yes, I want to go. I know y'all don't want me, and I want to go. Let's make it happen. No pussyfooting around and hiding behind agents.
Ox, does amicable sell tickets, though? Because to your point, I mean, that's a fact. There's nothing wrong with, you know what? We've gone as far as we're going to go, and it's time that we went in our own way. But with that being said, is
What do you
that
mean
what?
doesn't sell
So,
tickets?
what I mean was is that I think people want the dramatics. They want Trae in Atlanta to be like, y'all and you and I want out of here and this place sucks. And I think people want that when in reality, maybe this is just the end of the line for him. To your point, maybe this is the end of the line for him in Atlanta.
Yeah, maybe so, Chill. But I'm not here for that. We like damn all that. We don't. Everything doesn't have to be a soap opera.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like everything doesn't have to be a soap opera. I know. We want the major entertainment value from the NBA, but we can keep it basketball. We can keep it business. We don't have to. You know, we don't have to do all the corny, superficial shit and do. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no need for that. You know, this is how grown men act. You know what I mean? There's no need for me to, okay, well, I'm not playing, or I'm not gonna, or put on a fat suit, or get me out of here, and all that dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't need to do that.
Like James Harden did, Ron. Yes, that's what we talking about. Like James Harden.
You know what I'm saying? Or wearing the subliminal messages on T-shirts and all that corny shit. Like there's no need for that. When we both know you don't want me, I don't necessarily want to be here then. Cool, let's handle business. Let me go somewhere else and y'all get back what you want. Y'all didn't want to extend me. The writing's on the wall. You know what I mean? Like we don't gotta pretend. There's no need to have an ego. You know what I mean? Just let's just get it on. Life goes on.
All right, so let's get to the nitty-gritty, y'all. The Washington Wizards were the first team to step forward and I guess express interest in Trae Young. I hate this, but there's also some other good fits for him as well. I've heard
right there, Ron. Why do you hate this? Why do you hate it, Ron?
Chill.
What's the problem?
I wouldn't wish the Washington Wizards on my worst enemy.
They got some young talent, Ron. They got some young talent over there, and I know that they're a bad team, but they got some young talent over there. I just think that I've said this to you in the past, Ron. They got the ingredients. I think the chef in the kitchen is screwing up the food.
Mars and Penn, can either you guys make this make sense for me?
Ripe yet.
Make one make sense.
PCL champion Mars, can you explain to me how Trae Young can go to Washington and it'd be a win-win for both sides?
Well, it depends. What do you classify as a win for Trae Young? Championships?
That's the easy answer, but
because no one's selling you on no one's selling you on Washington are gonna win championships with Trae.
Nobody.
Just be competitive, like similar to John Wall. You know, you might not ever make
this year they won't be. Yeah, this year they won't be. I think Washington knows that. I think the world would know that with Trae Young. I don't think they'd be acquiring Trae Young to go immediately be competitive. And if Trae Young's pursuing playoff success now and in the future, because obviously wherever he gets traded to, they'd be hoping he extends, then yeah, Washington's probably not the destination for him. But if Trae Young is wanting to be the offensive engine of a team, have the ball in his hands, control the offense, Washington is a good situation for him. So I think if they're working together, which is the reports, if Trae Young has Washington on his list, I would assume his desire is somewhere where he can be the best version of himself. And that would be in Washington. Now, does the best version of Trae Young lead to winning? That's a different question. Maybe that's something to be discussed. But if Trae Young's looking to just be the best version of himself, the maximized version of himself, Washington's a good bet. They have a good young big who's versatile. He can pick and pop. He can pick and roll. Marvin Bagley is a good pick and roll big. They have shooters or guys with potential, whether that be Trey Johnson, Corey Kispert, whatever the case may be. So you're trying to offer him spacing. You have young guys who are going to run the floor. And in theory, you have guys who are going to be able to hide you defensively with Alex Sar's rim protection, Bilal's physical tools, Keyshawn George and his length and size. So like if they're trying to maximize Trae, it makes sense. If you're trying to win, not so much. But it depends on what Trae's desires are. It depends on whatever. I don't know his mindset. But I think for his personal play style, I think it can make sense.
Hey, does Atlanta does Atlanta be classified as stupid then? Because like y'all got Kristaps Porzingis, y'all got all these other guys, and thinking that you're gonna compare them with Trae Young. So like if Trae Young goes to the Wizards with that exciting core, wouldn't the Wizards just be the Atlanta Hawks?
Hell no.
No.
Why not?
They'd be Jalen Johnson there.
They'd be
Who's
good
Dyson
though.
Daniels? Who's Dyson Daniels? Who's
Bilal
Jalen Johnson?
Koulibaly, Alex Sarr.
Bilal Koulibaly is
No,
Bilal's
Dyson,
not.
is Dyson
Bilal's
Daniels?
not Dyson Daniels, but
Outta here, man.
Bub
mean-
is actually Dyson
I
Daniels.
mean, but you're gonna get. I mean,
What?
You're
They have no
taking
Dyson
away-
Daniels. Long story
No.
short, they have no Dyson Daniels. They have no.
But
Dyson
don't-
Yeah, they
Daniels.
don't have no
Drench,
Dyson
Drench, don't
Daniels,
you-
but
don't
at
you
the
think
same
Trae
time,
could
you're
turn-
taking away, like you taking away Trae Young from the Atlanta Hawks? So like his impact may not have been great with the Atlanta Hawks this year, but Trae Young's impact with the Wizards will be what it was with Atlanta. So it's not like Dyson Daniels is the end all be all. I think for the most part, it's just like Atlanta's kind of stupid. Then like
I see
y'all
where-
should have
I
made
see where
y'all mind
he's
up
going.
before y'all got Kristaps Porzingis, before y'all got Nickeil Alexander. Y'all should have did something with Trae Young before then. You knew you wasn't going to extend him. Like I just think
Drench, How did
sometimes
they know that?
sometimes-
They did this though, Drench, with the idea that it was going to work. They didn't put this group together that it was not going to work.
but they didn't
got
even see. They don't
Porzingis.
even really care to see it work. To be honest, they saw Trae Young get hurt. They saw the Atlanta Hawks play a little bit better, and then now their mind is made up that they better without Trae Young. So they never really gave it a chance to see it work. To be
I know.
honest,
Well, we also in a time constraint here, too, because we got a money situation coming up. Like his contract is coming up.
exactly.
And with his contract coming up, I mean, they ain't interested in extending him for that long. This was a short-term thing. That's why they didn't extend him initially, because they wanted to see if this thing could work. And I think that to be honest with you, as much as good as they are in terms of talent, I think that what they looked at with Trae was this was a short-term thing. If this thing doesn't work, then we out. But I don't think that they went into it thinking that it was going to work. I think that they were already out.
Can Trae not turn Alex Sarr up a little bit?
Yeah, I think he would.
Yes.
I think he would turn Alex Sarr up tremendously.
But
Yeah.
but to what end?
He's
What is-
already
what is-
turned, to be
what-
fair.
What do you
Yeah,
mean?
but
What end, man? He almost
he'd be
20 and
turned
10,
up.
and they don't run anything for him. They don't run anything
he'll
for
be
him.
turned up even more though. He'll be turned up even more though. Trae's gonna get him easier buckets for sure.
Yeah,
Right.
Trae makes you marginally better. I'll agree with that.
Not marginally better,
Yes, he
Like-
makes you marginally better.
What's
He's not-
marginally better?
but what's the margin?
5 wins,
Yeah.
4 wins.
No, I
Okay.
think that's cap. I think so.
Yeah,
You
I
telling me
think so,
Trae
too.
Young make the Wizards 4 wins better than what they already projected?
Well, they're not playing 4-on-5 right now, are they?
No, they're not. But with that
Well,
being
with
said,
Trae
that-
Young, you'd be playing 4-on-5 on defense. At least.
Bob Carrington is a worse defender than Trae Young, so
I
they are playing
mean,
4-5. So I disagree with
But
that.
at the same time, Penn,
Bub
what was
ain't
Trae
starting
Young
for them.
doing with the Atlanta Hawks?
CJ McCollum
before
is
this
damn near a
year?
worse defender than Trae Young.
I don't think CJ is a worse defender than Trae Young.
I said damn near. I never said he was damn near. Like CJ
I mean-
McCollum is one of the worst defenders in the
Yeah,
NBA.
Penn, there's no way you believe that Trae Young.
Trae's
made-
not the only bad
get
defender
4
in
more
the-
wins
I
for the
think-
Wizards. There's no way you believe
Here-
that.
Here's the thought process here. Like if you think that you can trade for him and upgrade his value and then reshop him this offseason, like if you can put him in a situation where he has this fun athletic team that he can pass lobs to and boost his numbers, and maybe you see some success with the Wizards, maybe becoming a play-in team. But at this point, it's like, what am I costing myself? And again, to what end? What am I getting out of this? I don't think that Trae Young can be the best player in the championship team. I really don't think that. And unlike a lot of players that I have come to that conclusion with, i.e. Chris Bosh, I don't think he can be a complementary player on a championship team either, because he's such a horrible defender and he doesn't play well off the ball. So if you can't play off DeJounte Murray, who can you play off of? Like, again, the odds leaders right now, according to Vegas, to land his services are the Dallas Mavericks, the Washington Wizards, the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Toronto Raptors, the Milwaukee Bucks.
Swiper has some inside intel too from a Atlanta source that he has. That's why he's up here. But before we talk about that,
One in the chat.
you have to ask Swiper.
ATL's finest?
Before we talk about that, though, this is what came across my timeline. Trae Young for CJ McCollum, and this was actually talked about as well. Obviously, CJ's on an expiring contract. There would potentially be salary fillers that would go back to Atlanta, and you would have some potential draft capital. I've seen in a couple different trade scenarios. I've seen draft swaps, and then I've seen a 2032 pick as well. So I don't know exactly what the draft assets looks like, but Trae Young for CJ McCollum.
I'm gonna tell you something, Ron. Trae Young must really like that boy. He moved from man, what the hell you doing in my house? But
That's a
Trae Young
bucket of
moved
extra
from-
crispy in a six-pack. That's what
Trae
that
Young
is.
moved from goddamn Atlanta to DC, boy. That boy love them joints now, little boy.
That's a
It don't
bucket
get
of
no
extra
better
crispy in a
for Trae.
six-pack, Ron.
Chill, that is
No, it
ridiculous.
ain't.
That's a bucket
Ron,
of extra crispy. But for CJ McCollum, who, I mean, he's viable.
Trey say he can't get away from them black women.
But Trey's
Hell.
married. What are you
You
doing?
tripping. He not viable. CJ McCollum is viable. Then who's not viable?
I think he's still. I think he's still viable.
Don't they want that? Don't they want that expiring? Isn't that the?
Yeah,
Isn't that the
what the
reason?
hell
Isn't that the
doing
reason
in my
for
house?
CJ?
Yeah,
Yeah, they want CJ for the expiring contract, right?
exactly.
Yeah, but CJ actually would be all right with this team, though. I think that
Yeah, but for-
they
I mean, for how
he'll
long?
help him. Probably just the rest of the year. It probably would.
Right.
His main value is tied to that expiring contract, but I do think that he also provides value with just his scoring ability, floor spacing with this unit as well.
I'm
He
really
absolutely
not sure.
provides. He absolutely provides value. I mean, they're getting him because CJ's not a bum. CJ still got a little something in the tank, but they don't want him for that. They're not winning shit this year, and he's
Is
not.
he better
gonna
than
be there.
Nikhil?
He's not going to be there for the foreseeable future, regardless if
Is
he's better
Trae
than
Young not
Nikhil or
better than Nikhil Alexander Walker? Is that what you just asked?
I think he's talking
No, I
about,
was
talking about
asking
CJ, right?
McCollum.
Oh, is CJ
but
McCollum better?
it's
No.
that's not the point though. Regardless,
I have a great question for you guys.
regardless if he's better than the killer, not though. Chill. I don't think that's what it's about. I'm pretty sure it's just about that contract. Either way, like he's not going to be there for the foreseeable future anyway.
We know that Trae Young's
Yo,
gonna
pin
start.
right quick, because Swiper's not up here for that long.
Okay.
Swiper, what was your intel and sources and the information that you got regarding the Trae Young trade?
Well, apparently, the biggest thing that I heard last night was there was a team that they're currently in negotiations with, where they're trying to ship Trae Young to for said player. But the problem is the team is asking for the Pelicans' first round pick this next season, and they don't want Trae Young back. So they're trying to somehow maneuver getting. They're trying to somehow maneuver.
Give us the first round pick and not Trae Young. What?
Yeah, because they're going to give them an asset, like a legitimately great like player, and so in their estimation at least, and so but they don't want to take back Trae Young's contract. They don't think he'd be that valuable with the team and with the roster, and so a lot of this is kind of, by the way, the consensus around the league. A lot of people just feel like he's a very up in the air player, very high turnover, inefficient shooter who has a 46% on ball usage. So they just don't value Trae around the league. Now, this has, by the way, been going on for years now, but this team in particular, they want to get off the player they have, but the issue is that they're having issues, the Hawks, convincing this team to trade Trae back. So apparently what they did is they then leaked that they were talking to Washington in order to move the other team they're trying to trade with to then come off of not accepting Trae Young. So it's a pivot play by saying, hey, we're willing to move Trae in this direction if you don't pony up, basically trying to force the hand of the team they're actually in negotiation with, is basically what I heard last night.
Do you know which
so they're not actually.
Ox, you know what that
You know
shit
what
sound
team it
like?
is?
Ox, I really don't want you, but I'm gonna invite you to the party to bring your homegirl. That's who I really want.
Exactly.
Bring your
Exactly.
homegirl, because that's who
What
I really
team
want
is
to hang
it?
out
Hey,
with.
I've been there before.
Coming too.
Sound like Pat Bev was cooking this summer,
Hey,
boy.
I've been
I
there
told you, boy. I told y'all. I was on Trae Young gas. Pat Bev.
But I'm gonna
was
invite you to the party.
Boy,
I'm
them
gonna invite
turn-
you
boy,
to the
them
party, but
tables
make sure you
turn,
bring your
chill.
homegirl.
Chill,
Oh,
them
hell
tables
no.
turn, boy. You was doing all that. I'm getting ready for my season shit. Shit.
And Pan, it's multiple. Apparently, it's multiple teams. There's one team in particular. Like I don't, that they told me this, and so I can't share everything, obviously. But
Sure.
apparently, there's multiple teams, but there's one team in for sure that they're trying to make that move with. And so I do think that eventually he does get moved,
What
but I
team is
think
it?
it's going to be. Well, I'm saying I don't know if I'm at
He
liberty.
just
to
said he couldn't
say.
tell us,
Yeah.
LeBron. He just
There's
say
a couple of teams. Though. I'm saying there's at least
They
2
always
teams
say they're
that-
not gonna do it. You just got to press them a little bit,
well,
As
that's
you-
called
as you were
consent.
saying.
Is what that's called. You do not have consent to go any further.
All right, well, just tell me,
okay.
and I'll tell everybody.
Run. No means no.
How you? Hey, Swiper. How you spell
West
no?
and West
Y
and East. I'll say that
E-
West and East.
What? All right, West
Yo,
and
swipe,
East.
swipe it.
Okay, there's two
Just blink
teams.
twice that it's not the Toronto Raptors.
So Swipe,
please.
if I'm not, so Swipe, if I'm not mistaken, Trae
Oh,
Young.
no.
So Swipe, if I'm not
No, it
mistaken,
ain't.
Trae Young,
It ain't.
he's got that player op this summer. I think it's for $48 million, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I think it's for $48 million. There's a lot of teams that aren't really interested in absorbing that because he's going to opt into it. There's no way he's leaving that money on the table. He's going to opt into that.
Yeah, you'd be a damn fool to not. I don't give a shit. I'm opting in every time unless you're gonna give me more.
So does that so does that mean that any team that trades for him, they already know this, And in addition to opting into the deal, is this only a 1-year deal, or are we looking at something further? Like, are we
I
extending?
just saw Washington
after this
said 2
season?
years.
They're
Washington
saying
said
they
2 years.
don't. Yeah, I think the issue is they don't want trade period plus the player option. So it's both the money and the player. They just don't see a value in having him on the roster. And so even flipping another player for him, like I said, they want the asset that the Hawks have. They're willing to give you back all NBA talent, but it's just a matter of convincing these teams to take back Trae Young. He has just really low value in the league right now. Chill. That's basically what it is.
That's incredible.
Chill. I just told you maybe 7 days ago. Dude's just not a good basketball player.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. That's
Great, but I guess Chill.
I'm sorry. I got to be the one to burst y'all bubble. I'm sorry. I got to be the one to tell y'all the truth all the time. I know I got to say the things that y'all don't want to say.
It's not the uncomfortable thing. No.
I know this, Chill.
No, that's not the case.
I know sometimes I go too far. That's what I'm
really,
here for.
really
So
good
I'm gonna tell you the truth. Bro's not a good basketball player.
So let me ask you
You
this.
just told us CJ McCollum was a good basketball player.
So let me ask you this, Ox, because again, because Penn brought it up. That $48 million, would it look different? Because I'm confident that it would look different if that $48 million was $30 million, and that extension wasn't $280 million. If that extension was $150 million, it would look a lot different. Sure. I think more teams would be interested in Trae Young if that was the case. I think the money is the biggest issue and what he's asking for in terms of an extension, and rightfully so. He's been one of the 5 best league guards in the game for a long time.
And I don't say this disrespectfully either.
He's
closer to league value. I'm not trolling either. He's closer to league value to Cam Thomas than he is to Tyrese Halliburton.
Wow.
Just for people to understand.
Is it because
Tyrese Halliburton today?
Just to put that in,
I'm talking about like last year, you know what I mean? Like a high usage guard, like
Jalen Brunson, you mean?
No.
So he's closer to Cam Thomas.
Swipe it today. Swipe it today. Yes.
Well, yeah, I mean, but Hallie has, he's still a really good player. And I think, Penn, you can agree the difference with Hallie, he has the ball a lot, but he can play off ball super well. And he's super efficient with how he played. And he generates elite offense everywhere he goes, no matter who he's with. Trae doesn't do that. And I think that's what he's supposed to be doing.
And he's 6'5", and that helps too. I think teams are going towards teams are going towards bigger playmakers. I think all this nonsense about the Raptors should trade for him. Yo, come on, man. Like the Hawks are trying to get off of Trae so they can put the ball in Jalen Johnson's hands. We already have a player who is a big forward. Yeah. Exactly. We already have a big forward and a big guard who can kind of play, spot one in Scotty, BI, RJ Barrett. Why the hell am I putting the ball in Trae Young's hands and trying to revert back to the 90s and have him run spread pick and roll with a big that we don't have? You know what I mean? It does make a lot of sense. The question I really wanted to ask y'all, and I'm just wondering if you can think about it, is name the last player who has been in at least a conference finals as a starter. At least, the NBA finals as a starter that's worse than Trae Young defensively.
Starting in the NBA finals, worse than Trae defensively.
Exactly.
Okay. No one on Boston.
Definitely
no one on OKC.
How about Chalmers?
Indiana Halliburton's better than him.
Mario Chalmers.
I'm going back to Rio. Rio's better than Trae.
Yeah, Rio's way better than Trae.
Okay. All right. We're talking about starters now.
Someone said Luka. Luka's better than Trae.
Way better.
But SGA a better defender than Trae Young?
Yeah. It's okay.
I would say
Luka ain't no better defender than Trae. Shit.
Luka compromises your defense in a similar way.
Yeah, Luka can be a better defender. He better than Trae.
Yeah. But Luka's a much better offensive player than Trae, though. That's the problem.
Someone said Dragic. Hell no, Dragic.
Same shit. Better. Really.
Same shit. Can I flip that logic, Penn, and say that there have been league guards that he has been better than that have started? Like,
oh yeah, but
like chill. Kyle Lowry. He was better than Kyle Lowry.
I don't think he was better than Kyle Lowry.
Chill.
But no.
I'm talking about as a player.
I think he added more value.
But the question is not changed. The question was who's better on defense. So we can change the question if we want.
It's the panel. Religion get built on cam. Where the check throw smoke and the host go ham. You ain't never seen hoops out hit the raw. Every take got weight, every night we drop. This that barbershop. Courtside, worldwide tone. Welcome to the only show that really feel like numbers jumping like the score.